Hello, everybody.
Oh, look, we've come to life because we've got light in the room.
Yeah.
We've just filmed a video in the dark.
We've been experimenting with new lighting.
And new backgrounds. Look at this fancy black.
Yeah, why are we doing this?
Because we want to.
Well, because we want to, but also because we're trying to kind of get a bit of sort of cohesion across various filming things that we do. After 3 years, we're finally getting our act together. So, yeah.
Well, we're attempting to. We know how well that goes when we attempt things.
But we are attempting nonetheless.
Yes, it's the thought that counts.
It's because we've got this Digitiser the Show Series 2 / Level 2 Kickstarter happening. Support
Still
us.
hasn't settled on a name.
I have settled on a name. It's called Level 2, but it is Series 2.
Level Series 2.
Link in the description down below. Support us. There's lots of lovely rewards, but we kind of want these videos to look a bit kind of a part with everything else.
Yes, we want everything to feel like it's connected.
Yes, not least because we're going to be talking about video games in this episode.
In this episode?
Yes. Did you not know that?
No. What? I thought we were talking about this cutie patootie.
Don't run away. Don't run away. Hey. It's just because there's a toy bear here.
He's got his eyes closed.
Well, there's a reason for that. He's asleep.
Oh, he's asleep. Oh,
yeah.
He's sleeping.
My daughter, when I used to be asleep in the mornings, she'd come in when she was little and try and peel my eyes open.
Oh.
Well, no, wouldn't try to. She literally would if I was asleep.
Did that wake you up?
Well, yeah. Wouldn't it wake you up?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
probably.
That's cute.
Yeah, kind of cute.
Wanted you to wake up. I always woke up before my kids. My kids are have always been sleeper-inners.
Yeah. Anyway.
Always, and they still are.
Anyway.
Yes.
Who knows what this is? Do you know what this is? Had you heard of this?
I had.
It's
Teddy Ruxpin.
Teddy Ruxpin.
Why, that's Teddy Ruxpin. Oh my goodness, I've got so much plastic here. Be gone.
He doesn't destroy galaxies or capture aliens or fold up into a space vehicle. And his friends don't have names like Kiltron or Smashoid.
Hi, my name is Teddy Ruxpin.
Massive 1980s, I was going to say phenomenon, but it was quite a short-lived phenomenon.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd call him a phenomenon.
I'm sorry?
Phenomenon. You always pick up on all of my speech defects.
For mononon. Yeah, he was a phenomenon. And I have the factoids to prove it. Teddy Ruxpin also, if it wasn't for Teddo, Nintendo perhaps would have struggled.
Nintendo.
Very good. Would have perhaps struggled to get a foothold in North America toy shops.
You're flattening his hair. There we go. That's better.
But Teddy Ruxpin doesn't only have a link to Nintendo, which we will get to. He has a greater link to...
He's got a link to Nintendo. That's so weird.
To Atari.
How?
I owe my success to the imagination of my creators and to the technology they have developed over the past 20 years. I am a dream come true for those who have lovingly brought me to life.
They were exorbitantly expensive.
Yeah, really expensive because there was a whole load of fancy tech inside this dude.
I thought you were going to say Fancy Ted.
Fancy Ted inside this tech. It was created by a guy called, his name was Earl Kenneth Forsey.
Oh, use the Forsey, Kenneth.
Yes, thank you for these continued interjections.
No, I'm stopping now.
Thank you for continuing to just spout shit. As I'm trying to explain.
I'm just excited about Teddy Ruxpin joining us.
Look.
I keep kicking this wire.
Okay, well don't kick the bloody wire.
But is that going to affect the sound?
Yes, if you keep repeatedly kicking it.
Right, just one
Jesus
second while I
Christ.
move
Look, we've got fancy lighting, we've got a nice black backdrop, and yet still...
Look what happened.
Do not adjust it.
I need to do it now.
Fucking hell.
I hear kicking noises. Look, that now. Also,
Why hadn't you done it before we filmed?
I didn't realise it was there. Because we'd already filmed something earlier, and then things got messy with the wires.
FML. You know, remember when I used to think that stood for my life? And
I know. And
what does
that even mean?
Well, like kind of like
for my
FML,
life.
Oh, for my life.
Oh, for my life.
Anyway, so Teddy Ruxpin, right? This is Earl Kenneth Forsey.
Wait, you were using it all the time.
Can we focus on the bear?
Yes, let's focus on the bear.
His experience with Disney was specifically to do with animatronics and the animatronic technology. That's what he was interested in.
Right.
And the storytelling aspect of it. Atari, of course, was founded by Nolan Bushnell, who
That's better.
Nolan Bushnell, who also founded the Chuck E. Cheese chain of restaurants in America. Mm-hmm. And what is Chuck E. Cheese known for?
Hamburgers.
No, animatronic characters.
Oh, animatronic characters.
Yes, they all used to have these animatronic freak characters and play music while you were having a hamburger and playing video games.
Have you been to a Chuck E. Cheese?
I have never been to a Chuck E. Cheese, although it's one of those things that, despite growing up in the UK, I know quite a lot about.
We need to go. there.
Well, there aren't many.
Apparently,
there aren't many. I heard there aren't many left with the original animatronics in anymore.
Oh no! Is that because they scared the children?
I don't know. Maybe they're just.
It's the kind of thing you imagine
I-
parents taking their toddlers to because they think they're going to love them, and then the toddler's freaking out.
I imagine it's quite a lot of upkeep to kind of maintain.
Yeah.
The characters.
You think animatronics need a lot of upkeep? I thought you just plug them in and.
What do you think, everyone at home? Do you think animatronics? Do you think high-tech animatronics need a lot of upkeep and a lot of maintenance, or do they just work indefinitely for the whole of time?
Well,
which of those things do you think are true?
No, occasionally you need to spray a bit of WD-40. Occasionally change the batteries.
Okay, bear in mind
that
in McDonald's, the McFlurry machines never work.
We watched a documentary about that.
Yes, we did.
Didn't we?
Yes, we did. We did. I think you may have done. However, they're always breaking down, and they're presumably simpler than like a kind of 7-foot tall animatronic rat playing a guitar. So, what do you think?
Well, we know why the machines were breaking down.
Okay, it's a conspiracy.
It wasn't because they were complex.
So, I'm touching his boobs.
Jealous.
So,
oh God, don't put that in.
Let's have a quote from Ken Forsey, who the creator of this thing. Teddy Ruxpin was conceived as a concept for a puppet show initially. It was his intention to create mechanical effects that would make the characters look like complete figures instead of partial figures behind scenic elements. Like Sooty would kind of come up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he envisioned the characters standing or sitting on apparently solid surfaces. He maintained that basic concept as a way to do Teddy Ruxpin until 1982. He had developed an animated head for a walk-around bear costume. So, like a kind of Mickey Mouse in Disney type costume, but animated.
Oh, but what, with a human inside?
Yes, walk around.
And then the head moved by itself?
Well, Disney have experimented with that at points, animatronic Mickey heads.
God, I bet that's really creepy.
It's actually quite cool when I saw a video of it.
Unless you're a 3.
Anyway, he said it was ideal for television, and he realised that it could provide an alternative to puppets for a Teddy Ruxpin production, if one were ever undertaken. The Disney Channel saw the bear head and wanted to give him a contract to develop costumes for their upcoming production of Welcome to Pooh. Which he did. He worked on
Pooh, P-O-O-H.
Obviously, Winnie the Pooh, obviously.
Oh, obviously, of course.
Would you think really, some early 80s kind of scatological show?
You never know.
Well, you probably do.
You never know. Trying to encourage kids to go to the toilet.
I've got this all mixed up. I've got everything. It's mixed up.
Oh no.
We're the worst at doing videos. We're shit at doing videos.
Why didn't you give it to me? I would have put it into bullet points for you.
Now all my bits of paper are out of order.
Just follow the numbers. Okay, let's put them in order. Give it here.
It is in order.
It's 7 and then 1 is not in order. 7, 8. 1, 2.
Got it. Right, so as Forsey explains, The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin, this is how he had a whole backstory for the bear. It was never just about the technology, because he had the idea for the character and the world, which is it's batshit insane.
Right.
The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin follows 15-year-old Teddy Ruxpin. He's 15.
He's 15. He's 15. Right. Whoa, I'm so cool, guys. Man, 15, yeah. Slam the door.
That's what 15-year-olds do, is it? So it follows 15-year-old Teddy Ruxpin as he leaves home on the island of Rilonia with his best friend.
What? I'm sorry?
On the island of Rilonia with his best friend Grubby.
Grubby's a dirty boy.
To follow an ancient map which leads him to find a collection of crystals on the mainland of Grundo. With the help of his new friend Dr. Newton Gimmick, Teddy and Grubby discover the magical powers of what turns out to be an ancestral treasure, as well as an organisation with ambitions to use it for evil, known as MAVO, M-A-V-O, short for the Monsters and Villains. Mavo, doesn't matter. You say Bath or Bath. Short for the Monsters and Villains organisation. Along the way, Teddy learns the long-lost history of his species, because he's not a bear.
I'm not a bear, okay?
Even though he's called Teddy. And clues to the location of his missing father.
Oh my goodness.
So
imagine his dad's Darth Vader.
That's probably unlikely. So Teddy Ruxpin is an Iliop.
What does that stand for?
A humanoid bear. It doesn't stand for anything. He's a humanoid bear-like creature with a kind disposition. Oh. And he resides in modern-day Rilonia after a forced mass exodus from ancient Grundo, where they had an advanced civilization.
This is intense.
Yeah. The Teddy Ruxpin story was mental.
Wow.
Right. And this Forsey guy, he had all this in his head, all these different characters and races and things.
And the only thing that came out of his head was this guy? Or did he make other characters that lived in the world?
No. There was, because Teddy Ruxpin came with a storybook. Every Teddy Ruxpin had a storybook, and then there was later an animated series. Do you not remember that?
So.
Yes, see?
Yes.
And there were other characters. I think they made what's his name? Grunty. What's his name?
Grundy.
Grungy?
Oh,
Grungy.
Quick, have a look. Our short-term memory's failing us.
Grundo was where he lived. Grubby. Because Grubby, as you can see, was like a kind of a caterpillar dude.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a grub.
Oh, I suppose. It's like I thought he was like pervert. Like grubby sensibilities. So anyway, so all of that was in place before the toy was invented. Mm-hmm. And it was he got it turned down. He had this prototype of this animatronic head, and he got it turned down by people like Hasbro, who ironically later bought the rights to Teddy Ruxpin and re-released it. But eventually it was picked up by a company called Worlds of Wonder. Wow. Worlds of Wonder, who were formed by former Atari employees.
Employees?
Yes,
so there was more than one.
Well, Atari, this is remember when this was? This was like sort of 83, 84, something like that. The video games crash had happened. Atari had gone into the sewer, basically.
I had no idea.
The big video game crash because the market was flooded with video games. This is where video games
and then
come
did they
in.
come back at the end of the 80s?
Wait a minute. It's all to do with this little guy.
He's responsible for the reboot of video games.
Yeah, and then as people kind of sort of say, the final straw was the E.T. video game, which was, famously terrible because it had been like sort of made in like about 2 weeks. And they made too many of them. It didn't sell.
I don't know why I find that really funny.
And they ended up having to bury it in a pit in New Mexico.
Did they?
You not remember the documentary we watched where a guy went to try and find them, and he did. Years ago, we watched the documentary. You might have fallen asleep. She fell asleep. So So this was a time when basically loads of Atari employees had been laid off or kind of needed to find other things to do. So Worlds of Wonder didn't last very long, and it's big hits. It only had limited numbers of products. It wasn't kind of like Hasbro. It just put up loads of things. It only had Teddy Ruxpin at the start, which who was eventually joined by various friends of his and other things that you could get, and laser tag. It was Worlds of Wonder did laser tag. Remember laser tag?
Yes. Laser tag and Teddy Ruxpin.
Yes.
Wow.
What are you kids doing in here?
Nothing, Mom. Just playing laser tag.
Well, that's okay, but that's enough for tonight.
Can you see the links with Atari? Very high tech, both of them very high tech.
Yeah,
and don't forget, kind of when you think Atari founder Nolan Bushnell set up Chuck E. Cheese, which is a restaurant with animatronic characters.
Okay,
and then laser tag is shooting to video games in real life. You can kind of see the sort of family tree and the evolution of where those may have come from.
So did they have? So were like Grubby and Teddy Ruxpin's other friends also toys that you could buy?
Yes,
animatronic
you could buy loads of them. I mean, I won't bother reading out the list, but there were loads of kind of extras that you could get that would interact as well with him.
For the children of millionaires, because if they're all like £200 each.
Well, it was a huge hit. Regardless of that, it was a massive, massive hit, as was laser tag. And the way it worked, we'll demonstrate it in a minute. The idea was this wasn't just a bear; it was a bear that would read you your kids' stories. So it was like a babysitting bear. So each one came with a book and a cassette tape that was interchangeable. So you could read along with it. They're very simple stories. They don't have a lot of words in. Obviously, Teddy has a limited vocabulary. And the cassette tapes had 2 tracks on them. One was for the audio and one was for the data, which told his mouth how to move. So if you had... Stop that. If you had Grubby, they would talk to each other. If you had a Grubby.
Dirty boy.
Yeah, you had a Grubby. They'd have a dirty talk. Pillow talk. That's what you could have, if you had the technology, and made your own.
Could you just put any cassette into their back?
It wouldn't necessarily have had the data track that
makes the mouth move.
The mouth and the eyes.
Oh, so he'd have his mouth closed, but he could talk.
But I'm not an expert. Oh. I don't know that. I've never hacked a Teddy Ruxpin.
Maybe you could tell us. Did anyone try putting a cassette in Teddy Ruxpin that didn't belong in Teddy Ruxpin?
Okay, do you want to get it out and show them?
Yeah, it's a normal cassette. Oh, I'd love to put some music in.
Well, we don't have any cassettes because
if you'd pre-ordered the Marillion cassette, you could have given it a try. I hope so too.
So the way they do it is they'd have the audio recorded by the guy who did Teddy Ruxpin's voice, which he'd do it as a higher register, and then they'd artificially pitch it up anyway. And the movements were done with a joystick, which would move the mouth and stuff. Right. So they had to do it in real time to program what the bear was doing.
So it would match up to the words that the guy was saying.
Yeah. We will demonstrate all this shortly. So what was happening simultaneously was Nintendo had the NES out, but unfortunately the toy shops were not keen. They were, when we've been here with video games before, they're done. They're over. Video games ain't coming back.
Wow. Boy, were they wrong.
And Nintendo were finding it really hard to kind of get a foothold in America. So they partnered up with WoW, and WoW basically went to all the toy shops in America and said, you want Teddy Ruxpin and laser tag, do you? Yeah. Well, you can't have it unless you take this as well. And so...
Smart move.
Toy shops, retailers were forced to stock the NES if they wanted these other 2 massive toys.
No way. But ultimately, aren't we all glad that they did do that.
Yeah, well, it gave Nintendo the once word of mouth started to spread and Nintendo got the distribution through WoW that they needed. Then Nintendo were able to go out alone, which they eventually did when WoW crashed and burned quite spectacularly.
Oh, that's sad.
Yes. Well, it went bankrupt by kind of 87, 88, something like that. Kind of like within 5 years, the company was gone.
What happened?
Well, one of the big things, there was various things that went wrong, but one of the big things was that a group of kids were playing laser tag at night, and one of the kids jumped out in front of a police car, went freeze, and got shot and killed.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And Nintendo were like, I don't want to be associated with them anymore.
That's really bad.
Yeah. So, wow, we're here, I think, with a potential lawsuit, but also just a ton of bad publicity. Because at the time, in America, there was this massive anti-war toys campaign. And so laser tag got lumped in with that, particularly when some poor kid kind of got shot and killed.
Did you ever have a laser tag?
I had Photon. I thought it was cooler than laser tag personally. Yeah, I had that. Bought it with one of my first pay packets. Well, I had my first pay packet. I bought a Sega Master System. And my second one, I bought a Photon. It's that I really cringe at.
Yeah, go on.
Because it was I didn't get paid that much. I mean, my first wage, I was on $6,000 a year, something like that. And I went to Toys R Us and I bought this Photon and brought it back on the train. And some little kid went, "Oh, someone's lucky," and I went, "Someone's rich." Hell, I would literally, if I met myself, if I met myself at 16, if I met myself at 16 and I heard myself say that, I would literally punch myself in the throat. I would punch myself in the throat so hard that my voice box would shatter and I would never be able to utter another word again. That's what I'd do.
That's brilliant.
It's not brilliant. It's absolutely the most obnoxious thing that I think has ever come out of my mouth.
You've never told me that before.
I know, because I'm ashamed of it. I'm ashamed of it. Horrible, horrible boy.
He's amazing.
Am I?
Yeah.
Is he? Was he?
Yeah, he was.
So stop that. So also, it wasn't just the shooting of that kid that I would have happily shot myself in 1987, but that didn't help. It was also they struggled to kind of get inventory into Teddy Ruxpin onto store shelves, and there are other talking dolls and bears starting to come out that were cheaper than the exorbitantly $70 it cost when it came out. Teddy Ruxpin. And then they also launched this thing called it was a games console called the Action Max.
Was the English version called the GI Max?
Okay,
or the GI Jacks.
That doesn't really work, does it? Because he's only called GI Joe in America.
Oh, well, I mean the other way around then.
No.
Okay, forget it.
The Action Max in America.
Stand by for target practice. Fire at the center target when it flashes. A steady aim is critical.
See, you thrown me now. Action Max, right? It was one of the worst games consoles of all time. It was a light gun console, and the games came on VHS tapes. So you would basically shoot at these the images on the screen.
And would it register?
Yeah. You'll register points and score.
Duck Hunt was a bit like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, the difference was...
So bad at that.
The difference was Duck Hunt was properly interactive because, you shoot a duck and it would die and fall out the sky.
And this wasn't interactive.
Not in the same way because, you can't immediately change. It's not like Laserdisc, like you kind of had in the arcades on certain games that were sort of Laserdisc games. Once the tape is playing, the tape is playing. You can't jump from a different scene to another.
Yeah.
Of like something dying, after it's been shot.
Right. So what would happen if you shot
I wish you weren't asking these questions because I haven't done enough research into it.
Okay, forget it then.
I just wanted to mention it in passing.
Fine.
Maybe I'll do a separate video on the Action Max at some point.
Maybe, yeah, we could do that. If I can
get one, we could give it a go. Maybe
We've got a VHS
maybe
machine.
on Digitiser the Show Level 2.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, we'll try.
We do have a VHS player, don't we?
Yes, we do. We'll see if we can get one. But we need a CRT, which we'll probably have anyway for Digi Level 2.
Don't know what that is, but yes.
An old cathode ray tube television. Cathode ray tube television.
I see.
Yes.
Lovely.
Because light guns don't always work with new fangled tellies.
Oh, we need an old TV.
Yes. So that's basically the story of Teddy Ruxpin. He's had a couple of comebacks since, but they were similarly short-lived. He never recreated the glory days, so to speak. But shall we turn him on?
Yeah.
He's not a bear.
He's a... what is he again?
He's an idiot. So here's what you got. You got the tape box, tape holder, tape deck. There, batteries in there. Massive D batteries, inevitably. And this is the volume and the on-off. So let's turn him on.
Whoa.
I were very interested. So we went to Gimmick's house to see just what this new invention was.
Sound quality is a bit...
Yes.
Well, it is.
Here it is.
30-odd years old.
I call it an airship. It looks like a boat.
Looks like he's taken some sort of tranquilizer.
As a matter of fact, it did start out to be a boat.
So he doesn't do all the voices. So I wonder if you've got all the characters, they all do their own voice.
Oh, yeah, I wonder if like the same story.
We get the idea. I gotta say, that's bloody impressive. Genuinely, no cynicism at all there. I mean, the fact that that's still working after 36 years.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
It's synced up perfectly when the narration happens.
His voice was a little bit wobbly, but that's because the tape's so old.
That's probably because the tape's so old. So where were we up to?
Still doing really well.
Oh, look, you've got a whole map of... We should get photos of this.
We will.
A whole map of his land. The
King
land of
Nobert's Mushroom Forest.
Great Desert.
The Great Desert.
This was like a video game map.
Wizard of Ouija.
So there you go.
That's really cool.
Part of me wants to rip this open and see what the head looks like.
Like we did with...
But at the same time, I kind of don't want to. I know we did it with Elmo. Oh my God, look at his eyes.
Let's see. Oh, his eyes are... Oh.
Wow, he's blazed.
He's had too much to smoke.
He certainly has. Oh my God.
Yeah, turn him on so he can at least close his eyes or leave them fully open, because this is too creepy.
That's better. He still looks like pretty, freaked out.
Let's see. Maybe he was better with his eyes closed.
All right, I'll try and close his eyes.
As the airbag fills with hot air...
There's a reason that when he arrived here, his eyes were closed.
Hey, Teddy, it's working.
Oh, I've done it again.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, there he is. Teddy Ruxpin. The bear.
He's like,
not the bear.
Whoa, dudes.
Good one. Come on. I mean, I've got to say, the quality of the stories, or the world itself, does feel a little bit kind of,
I would have loved it as a kid.
A little bit kind of generic, isn't it?
Bit generic,
little
bit
bit generic
simplistic.
kids 80s cartoon.
That's what made kids 80s cartoons the greatest.
Really?
Yes, because they had enough simplicity that your imagination can fill in the details.
What was
fill
that?
in the blanks.
What was that? Is it the raccoons with Cyril Sneer? Remember that?
No,
It's
I've
all a
never
bit
heard of
that.
What?
I think it was
Never
Cyril
heard of-
Sneer.
Silver Sneer.
Cyril.
Cyril Sneer.
Yeah.
I've never heard
The
of
raccoons. Remember that?
Oh, you just elbowed him in the nose.
Oh, good. He deserved it.
Whoa, dude.
Okay, don't start doing the dude thing again.
Sorry.
Just focus
Look
for
at his eyes,
literally
though.
focus for just 10 seconds.
Just whack the microphone. Well done, Teddy.
He's fat.
Don't shame him. Don't shame him.
Yeah, you're fat too, Mr Biffo.
I've just got big bones full of blunts.
Bubs, what is wrong with you
Look
today?
at his eyes.
What is wrong with you today?
I don't know. Let's continue.
No, we're done now. I think that's enough. Go and support Digitiser the Show Series 2 / Level 2 on Kickstarter. I have thought of the name. I just choose to make it clear that Level 2 is Series 2, alright? Got that?
Got that?
I wasn't saying it to them. I was saying it to you, so you didn't interrupt me going, we need to decide what you're going to call it. You need to decide what you're going to call it, mate. Oh, what a shambles. Bye.
Goodbye.